Good morning, surf skating friends all over the world. Steve here, and I've just blown the water off of the concrete here from the blower that my friend Gavin Conti out of South Carolina sent me. You may have seen him in my wheel review video, and you're going to see him in more videos. And now that I've got the concrete ready, I'm going to give you a tutorial on your very first step of surf skate bull riding, which is understanding the sequence of compression and extension through transitions. So with that said, I'm going to give you a demonstration on my Carver black tip, which now has my brand new Shred Shack Shred Till You're Dead sticker. So let's understand compression and extension through transitions. Okay, so when I started, I had this whole sequence wrong on two fronts. First of all, I always thought that just with, I don't know, I didn't even watch tutorials, but I always kind of had it in my head for whatever reason that when you're approaching a transition, you are extended, and then when you're at the top of it, that's when you compress. And I thought it was just that extension and compression, just two steps. But I was wrong on two fronts. Number one, it's compress coming in and extend coming up, but then there's a whole backside to it. So the proper sequence is actually a sequence of 4 steps. You compress going in, you extend coming up, and then going down, it's a quick compress, and then coming out of the transition, it's another extension. So the 4 steps are compress, extend, compress, extend coming out. Let me demonstrate. Hey, really quick note. First thing is, if you are a beginner and learning transitions, you need to pad up. So I'm padding up to be an example, but I have to make a note on that. I'm not wearing my hip pads. I always wear hip pads when I'm skating transitions because honestly, the whole time I've been learning bull riding, that's the only thing I've gotten hurt. So I want to make a note of that. If you're a beginner, wear your protective gear and especially hip pads. All right, so let me demonstrate. Okay, so as I am approaching a transition, compress, extend, compress, extend. And I'll give you some slow motion examples of this, but compress, extend, compress, extend. One more. Compress, extend, compress, extend. Okay, I need to explain something about that final extension coming out. That is so critical because that's where you get your speed. So as I'm coming up to the top of this, I'm extended, and then it's like that compression after the extension at the top is a really quick, I call it like a crouch into your body. It's a quick compression, but then once you get about this point in the transition, where you're coming out of that transition, you're standing up, but you're also pushing down hard on your back foot. And what you do is you get some propulsion coming out of that, and that's how you keep your speed through the transitions. It's that final extension, and if you're doing it right, you should actually feel like almost to the point where you're kind of like slipping out. You know, if you haven't learned the balance yet, if you're pushing that hard, you can actually like come out of it like that, but you should actually feel that. You want to feel that, because if you can't get that final extension at the end, you won't get the propulsion coming out of the transition. Now, let me just give you some slow motion examples of this now. Another thing I need to mention real quick is that backside turns are, for me, are way easier than frontside turns. So in surfing terms, we mean backside means your back is to the wave, frontside is you're facing the wave. And I had a really hard time learning frontside, so I'm going to do frontside tutorials on their own. It kind of needs some special attention above the backside, but I'm going to demonstrate the frontside. But again, in later tutorials, I'll show you actually how to do that frontside easier. And then the final thing that I want to say about this process is how you want to learn transitions is you want to first start on a small quarter pipe like this. Like, don't go right into the bowl. Just start learning the proper sequence on a little quarter pipe. Once you've got that, then move it up to something like this. Follow me. Okay, so this is the pool that I've been learning in, and you can see that it's got kind of this this little upper section, and then you go down into the deeper, bigger section there. But you can see how I practice on this almost using it like a half pipe. So if you can find a scenario where on that quarter pipe I just showed you, it's like you have to just keep coming around one time. But if you have a half pipe scenario, you can keep going back and forth. And so after I went from a quarter pipe, I graduated to something like this, and then you can get both sides. So find something where you can, it's maybe a bit bigger than what you're using on the quarter pipe, and preferably like a half pipe scenario where you can just keep going back and forth. Then after that, you can go into the bowl.